Hello and welcome back to the Seen and Strong podcast. I'm Ruby Durrell, founder of Seen and Strong, and this is where we have positive and honest conversations about movement, well-being and growing older. My belief is simple: growing older should not mean becoming invisible. Today, I want to talk about something that many of us do for our health, and rightly so, and that is walking. Walking is brilliant. It gets us outside, it supports our physical health, it can lift our mood and gives us an opportunity to connect with the world around us. But for many people, walking is also one of the most accessible forms of movement. You don't need to have expensive equipment, a gym membership, or a complicated program. You can put on a comfortable pair of shoes, step outside, and begin. So before I go any further, I want to make something very clear. I'm not telling anybody to stop walking, quite the opposite. Please keep walking. But there is an important question that I think we need to ask. Is walking giving our bodies everything they need as we grow older? The honest answer is not always. I meet many people who tell me that they are walking regularly, and that is fantastic. But when I ask whether they do anything specifically for their strength or balance, that is often the part that is missing. Walking is wonderful for general movement, cardiovascular health, and your stamina, but it may not challenge our muscles enough to maintain the strength we need for everyday life. It may not train our balance in all the different ways we need, and it may not prepare us fully for the daily movements that require power, control, coordination, and confidence. Then think about some of the things we need to do every day: getting up from a chair, climbing the stairs, carrying shopping, stepping off a curb, reaching into a cupboard, getting down onto the floor, getting back up again, turning around quickly, catching ourselves if we stumble. These everyday movements require more than the ability to walk forwards in a straight line. They require strength, they require balance, they require coordination, and they require confidence. This is the most important movement because it's not simply about completing an exercise session. Movement is about independence. It is about continuing to do the things that matter to us. It is about feeling capable and confident in our own bodies. Someone may be able to walk every day, but still struggle to rise from a low chair without using their hands. They may be able to walk around a park, but feel unsteady when turning, stepping backwards, or walking on an uneven surface. They may have good stamina, but find it difficult to lift something safely from the floor. That does not mean walking has failed them. It simply means that the body needs different kinds of movement and different kinds of challenge. I like to think of a movement as a little like nutrition. We would not expect one type of food to give our bodies every nutrient they need. In the same way, we cannot always expect one form of movement to provide everything our body needs. Walking is one very important part of the picture. Strength is another. Balance is also another. And mobility is definitely another. And rest and recovery matter just as much too. Let's begin with strength. Strength helps us to push, pull, lift, carry, and rise. It helps to support our joints and maintain our ability to manage everyday tasks. Strength works does not have to mean lifting enormous weights or spending hours in a gym. It can be much simpler than that. Standing up from a sturdy chair and sitting back down slowly and with control is strength work. Pushing against a wall is strength work. Using resistance bands or suitable light weights is strength work. Rising onto the balls of the feet while holding onto a secure surface can help strengthen the lower legs. The important thing is that muscles are being asked to work a little harder than they normally would. The movement should feel safe and appropriate for the person, and there still needs to be enough of a challenge for the body to respond. Now let's talk about balance. Balance is not something that either we have or we don't have. It is a skill, and like other skills, it can be practiced. Walking does not involve balance, of course, but most of us walk in a familiar way, often on familiar surfaces, while looking straight ahead. Daily life is not always that predictable. We turn, we reach, we step sideways, we step backwards, we move furniture around, we walk on uneven ground, we carry things, we become distracted. We sometimes need to respond quickly when something unexpected happens. That is why balance practice can include different foot positions, gentle weight shifts, controlled turning, and movements that challenge our stability safely. For example, you might stand beside a sturdy worktop or chair and place one foot slightly in front of the other. You could practice slowly shifting your weight from one leg to the other. You could try some controlled heel raises while holding onto a secure surface. The purpose is not to make someone feel frightened or unstable. The purpose is to practice control in a safe environment. And that brings me to confidence. Confidence and movement are closely connected. When someone begins to worry about falling, may naturally start moving less. They may avoid going outside, and they may even stop using the stairs. They may begin holding onto furniture or avoid activities they once enjoyed because they no longer trust their body in the same way. That caution is completely understand, of course, but moving less may then contribute to further loss of strength, balance, and confidence. It can become a difficult cycle. This is why I care so much about helping people move in a way that feels safe, enjoyable, and achievable. The goal is never perfection. The goal is not to perform like an athlete. The goal is to help people feel more capable and more confident in their own bodies. So, what can we do in practical terms? First of all, keep walking. Walk at a pace and for a distance that feels suitable for you. Enjoy the fresh air, the rhythm, the change of scenery, and the mental well-being that walking can provide. But alongside your walking, try to include some strength and balance work during the week. It does not have to take an hour, it could be literally simply 10 minutes. It could be a few controlled sit to stands from a sturdy chair. It could be some heel raises while holding onto a kitchen worktop, or a short resistance band routine, or even a gentle balance exercise beside a secure chair. Smaller amounts of regular, purposeful movement can be incredibly valuable. We often believe that exercise only counts if we complete a long or difficult workout, but movement does not need to be that dramatic to matter. Consistency matters. Finding something appropriate for your own body matters, and being willing to begin matters. It's also important to remember that everybody is different. Someone who is already active and confident may need a greater challenge. Someone with reduced mobility may benefit from seated movements or additional support. Someone who's recovering from an illness, an operation, or injury may need professional guidance. And someone living with a medical condition may need to speak to their doctor, their physiotherapist, or another appropriate healthcare profession before beginning something new. There is no single routine that is right for everyone. Movement should meet the individual where they are. That is one of the most important principles behind Seen and Strong. Older adults are not one identical group. People have different bodies, different histories, different experiences, different goals, and different levels of mobility. Some people may walk for miles, others may be walking or working towards standing for a little longer or taking a few more steps. Both deserve encouragement. Both are making progress, and both should be recognised for what they can do, not defined by only what they currently find difficult. I also think we need to challenge the idea that physical decline is something we should simply accept without questions as we grow older. Yes, our bodies change, our needs change, we may need to adapt the way we move, but adaptation is not the same as giving up. We can still work on our strength, we can still practice our balance, we can still improve our confidence, and we can still learn new movements. And we can still find enjoyable and meaningful ways to stay active. Growing older does not mean that our bodies stop responding to movement. It does not mean that we stop learning. And it certainly does not mean that we have to stop having the potential to become stronger in the ways that are available to us. So the message I want to leave you with today is this. Walking is brilliant, but please keep doing it. But do not forget that movement that helps you stand, lift, carry, turn, reach, balance, and remain independent. Keep walking, add a little strength and a little balance. And remember that every safe, purposeful movement is an investment in your future self. So thank you for listening to the Seen and Strong podcast. If this episode made you think of someone who walks regularly but may benefit from including some strength and balance work, please share it with them. And remember, growing older should not mean becoming invisible. And as always, until next time, stay seen and stay strong and stay heard.